Well, it's been a little while since I've been out in the garage working on my own stuff. I've been dealing with a lot of personal stuff the last couple of months here, so the Boxster I don't think's even been touched in 5 weeks, sitting kind of just how you see it right now. When I left off last time, pulled pretty much everything. I know for sure that I have yet to disconnect the clutch slave cylinder. And then also I'm going to pull the transaxle off the motor at that point because I'm told that that actually helps quite a bit overall and means you don't have to drop the rear cross member there, which would mean you have to realign the car, which I could do, but if I don't have to, I'm not gonna. Other than that, it's just going to be a lot of checking to make sure everything's disconnected. I think I have everything, but those could be famous last words. New 3.2 is still sitting right here. It's off the trailer now because I went and picked up this 2.8. This thing was on Craigslist with a ZF for $100. Motor's got no compression in cylinder 1, but it's good transmission, so I took that. No brainer. Wow, that was a digression. But anyway, yeah, where I'm at right now, I'm gonna pull the slave cylinder out of the trans. And I guess start unbolting the transaxle from the motor. And at that point, I think I'm gonna have to suspend the motor in the car, potentially with a couple ratchet straps or something, while I pull the transaxle out with the tranny jack, because I really don't have two ways of doing that unless I can sneak my lift cart underneath the motor and then use this or something, but I don't think that'll work. Anyway, that's enough talking from me. Slave cylinder, I can't show it to you because it's on top of the transmission, but I'm gonna go for that and see what I can do. Well, there's my transaxle. Oh, that clutch, whoa boy, that's brand new. It felt like it too. Every single one of the perimeter bolts had significant torque, I'll put it that way. And I'm now noticing, I don't know if the factory IMS had Torx head bolts. It might have. Anyway, I'm gonna pull the clutch and flywheel off now. Give myself enough clearance to drop this whole enchilada out the bottom. Right now I've got my trans jack holding it up. I had to macho man this transmission out of my shoulder and then drop it onto the fully extended lift cart, but this thing is heavy. Definitely gonna need 2 people to put it back in. There's my shift cables. Slave cylinders right here. Axles, obviously. It looks like pretty much everything's disconnected, so once I get that stuff off, I should... Oh, baby. I don't know. I'm probably going to lower the car down enough where I can get the lift cart underneath it. I don't think I want to put the whole engine on this transmission jack. That seems a little sketchy, even though it's probably okay. But again, first order business is going to be pulling this clutch kit off, and the flywheel as well. Whew, that was heavy. Well, here we are, about halfway out. I decided to throw caution to the wind and just ratchet strap over the trans jack and drop the motor out this way. Might be stupid, but here we are. Everything's coming out really nice. This thing had an updated IMS in it, and it had a brand new clutch. So it must have been a rod bearing that let go. I'll be even more curious to pull this thing apart now. But the engine might be completely salvageable for all I know. Really too bad though. I really thought this car was an original single row IMS. Guess not. But yeah, I'm gonna keep dropping her out. Looks like I didn't forget to unplug anything so far. We'll see, I don't know. Oh, maybe I did, one hose here. Looks like that's a quick release. Get your pick just behind this tab right here and pull it out that way. That should come apart. So here's the replacement engine. I'm gonna have to take the AC compressor off of this ahead of time. Excuse me. Transaxle. The gaping chasm where there used to be a powertrain. So I can see the engine bay fan, secondary air pump, gasoline, some probably coolant return, engine oil fill. There is a dipstick up there somewhere that I broke. I think probably through that little grommet. Here's my intake. That's a stock air box. There's another fuel fitting right there. Power steering. Vacuum, I think, for evap. Lots of coolant. Power connection. Brake booster air. Shifter cables. There's a lot going on. And then of course we have the old mill, which I put on a stand. I will be very curious to see what's going on with this thing. It has what looks like an updated IMS in it. It's not leaking from the IMS. So I think combine that with the shavings I saw, it's pretty likely that I had a rod bearing failure, which is, you know, given how sudden it was, I would say that it's probably a fatigued rod bolt that let go. So hopefully it didn't eat the case up. That would suck. The center portion kind of between my fingers there. That's what has substantial value, along with the cylinder heads if they didn't get too hot and aren't cracked. The reason I bought a new engine is because I don't trust this one anymore. But hopefully it has some good parts value, and it can rescue another M96 from total destruction. But I guess at this point I am running out of motivation just a wee bit, so I probably won't try to put the new engine in today, just because I want to do spark plugs on it and some other stuff while it's out. I do have the new dipstick tube that arrived secondhand, so I think I am ready to put it in. I'm sure there's going to be a broken thing here or there, but for the most part, I think I dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's with this swap. I really, again, would love to know. Maybe I'll pull plugs on that motor right now. But beyond that, I probably won't autopsy it anymore tonight. Whew. Anyway, stay tuned. I will keep at it. Hopefully much sooner than you know, the time between part 1 and part 2 here. But like I said, just a lot going on in the life of Mr. Oval Bore. So thanks as always for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks. Okay, I lied. Before I go, I did pull the plugs. They all look pretty much perfect. So after that, I put my breaker bar on the front of the engine. Wouldn't spin forward, but it'll spin backwards all day. So I think that means I got a timing chain guide problem. Really not. Oh man, this is confusing. But I can spin it backwards all day long, no problem. Forward, I can spin it maybe a half a rotation, and then it binds. So I think that what that is, it's letting it pull the timing chain backwards, but when you go forwards, it's pulling the chain into what used to be a guide and binding.